Have you something in mind for Saturday nights, like a clear way to win, like something precise?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna show that I'm the best boxer in the welterweight division. I'm the best fighter in the welterweight division, and I'm gonna show my dominance again.
You think your boxing is underrated today?
100%. I think everything about me is underrated. People go in there and they uh, assume stuff, but when they get into the cage with me, then they realize what it is. They realize what these hands do. They realize what this pressure does, and it breaks everybody.
Jack, on the cusp of a first title shot in the UFC against a dominant champion, dominant performances by Belal. How are you feeling ahead of your chance at gold?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It feels like any other fight week, and I feel like all the preparations have gone well. I feel like I've left no stone unturned. I'm ready to go out there and perform.
It's funny, right? This one sort of came to you a little bit unexpected. You know, you were sort of preparing, I think it's for Leon, right? And then suddenly this title shot comes to you. Does that give you an extra fire, or are you just putting in the miles and the work in the gym anyway, so it doesn't really matter if there's a gold belt on the line, you're going to be putting in the work as hard as you can anyway?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, fighting for this is the big one, you know. I've been working at this for a long time. But yeah, just for another fight, you know, 5-rounder. I was prepping for a 5-rounder and now fighting, the best guy in a 5-rounder. Couldn't put all the work in. Toughest fight of my life.
You know, you said you're viewing this as, you know, your next fight's always your toughest test. Do you see Jack as the toughest all-around test for you? Because you're in this unique position where you've fought in a lot of the guys already to get to the title, and now you're fighting Jack, who you didn't have history with. So I guess, is he the toughest test, or is it just that's how you have to view it?
No, you have to look at it like that, right? I never look past anybody. I never, underestimate anybody. So your next fight is always your toughest fight. I'm fighting the best boxer in the UFC. I'm fighting the best wrestler. I'm fighting the best grappler. So I got to train like I'm fighting all those guys. I got to train like I'm fighting RoboCop. That's my mentality every single fight. And then after the fight, it'll be like, all right, well, that was easy. So it's okay. Well, we'll see who's next.
Belal's a funny one, right? Because everyone sort of looks at him and thinks, okay, forward pressure, lots of takedown attempts, just try and control you. So in a way, you would think, okay, that gives me something that I know what I have to prepare for. But then he's coming out and saying, no, he's not going to go for one takedown. He's going to beat you on the feet and all this, maybe trying to play with your mind a little bit. What exactly have you prepared for from Belal?
I mean, I guess just all you can do is just watch his previous fights and just that's what you can expect. You know, I think his bread and butter is pushing a high pace, mixing it up, takedowns, striking. So yeah, I try not to listen too much to what he's going to say and just prepare as to what we see in his previous fights.
I don't think it's out of line to say that sometimes he doesn't really connect with the fan base. Do you feel like you're getting a lot of support from the fans to try and get this guy out of the title picture?
Yeah, I feel like I've got good fans, you know, fans that have stuck by me for a long time, and I think they believe in me. I mean, I appreciate my fans, but yeah, that's it. I'm just coming in here to do a job.
You know, you said, I'm not going to shoot for a takedown. I want to show off my Canelo boxing. Jack did an interview, and he said, well, I think I could get him on the feet and the ground. I'm just the better MMA fighter all around. So this fight seems unique compared to your last one where it was kind of back and forth, bad blood, and the two of you just kind of seem to be trash-talking over skill set rather than, like, personal issues. So I guess how do you view just Jack's skill set as a whole compared to, past guys?
Yeah, obviously, he's a good striker. He's got a long streak going. I think he got heart. He doesn't give up. He showed his last fight with a broken arm. He still pushed through. But the difference is he's never fought anybody like me. He's never seen somebody like me. There's levels to, like, pressure. There's levels to experience. And I've been in there, like you said, with everybody. I had to take the long road to get here. He got a shortcut. He got a shortcut to the top. And it's nothing against him, right? You can take whatever comes your way, but I think that's going to hurt him because when he's in there and, stuff doesn't start going his way and he's looking for his coaches to tell him something, his coaches, or trying to look to the past and think of what he did to adjust, there's not going to be no adjustments. Whatever he adjusts, I'm going to adjust better, and I'm going to break him.
And I believe I saw you say in an embedded that you think he's had a nice run, but it's time for him to retire, buddy. What exactly are you going to do to him to make him walk away from the sport on Saturday?
I'm going to try and finish dominantly, That'd be the way I'd like it to go down. Dominant finish, and then, yeah, that's up to him at that point, what's next for him.
Belal was just in here. You know, we talked a bit about how this fight compared to Bilal's previous fight against Leon, there's a lot of bad blood. But here, it's you guys. Your trash talk is I'm better at grappling, I'm better at striking, I'm better at MMA. It's much more skill based trash talking. Is that something that you prefer, or is like if you do become champion, you might have guys kind of trying to pick at you, kind of like what Ilya did to Volk, and Volk was like, I kind of like this because it brings more attention to the fights.
I mean, whatever. I'm just going to be myself. Yeah, I'm a professional, so I'm just coming in to take him out. He can say what he wants. I'm prepared for it all.
What have you made of Ian? We saw you and Ian's son have a little, fun thing where he interviewed you. And what do you make of Ian's, weighing in as the backup in a possible next opponent?
I mean, I think he's doing all the right stuff, right? He took that short notice fight against a guy with a lot of hype, and he won convincingly. I think for him to step up as a backup 2 weeks later, he's talking the loudest right now, especially in a division where if Shavkat's hurt, there's not a clear number one contender, and the loudest guy in the room is going to get the call. So I think he's doing the right stuff. I mean, I think you better hope that Jack shows up, because if he does have to step in at short notice, it's going to be a bad night.
And there is probably as much tape on Belal as anyone in the welterweight division against, Wonder Boy, high-level striker, Damian Maia, and Gilbert, high-level grapplers. So I guess, have you seen this massive progression that I guess fans seem to think Belal took this big leap in skill? Or if you break down tape on him, has he always been this good and people have just been overlooking him for a long time?
I think he's always been pretty good, He's always done what he needs to do to win, and I think that's his strong suit, He's a winner, so it's a tough fight. It's a tough guy to beat, but I believe we've got the skills. There's a lot of tape on him, so yeah, I've been studying, and I think I've got the ability to beat him.
And then just last one for me, I asked Belal this too, and he said it is kind of annoying that pretty much every interview he does, it's how does this fight shape two weight classes, right? Lightweight and welterweight, and even middleweight if Belal wants to go to middleweight at some point. So is it annoying for you too that you're fighting for your first title and everyone seems to be asking, well, what's next, even though the fight hasn't even happened yet?
I mean, it's kind of always happens, It's always what's next after this. But yeah, I've got my eyes on Belal. I'm going to get through Belal and then see what happens.
Yeah. So what does a win mean here for you and your legacy, especially with GSP, who will be in the audience, especially in arguably his hometown?
It would be huge, right? Another guy with a double-digit winning streak, and to win in Montreal in front of GSP, right? To go to the welterweight division, he's on everybody's Mount Rushmore. A guy that I looked up to, I always watched when I was younger, that you always try to be like and mimic. And just the way he did it, right? He didn't use trash talk. He didn't use any antics to get to the top. He just used hard work, and he won every single fight, dominant. And that's what I'm trying to chase, right? That's always my next goal is to. You have to have a goal when you're a fighter, right? My first goal was the gold. Now my next goal is the GOAT. So I'm chasing him, and to be chasing him and starting here in Montreal and in front of him is going to be great.
Just one right here, Jake. Belal confirmed that he want to beat you on the feet. Do you think he want to play mind game with you, or do you actually think he believe that? That's what my question, because it seems a little bit odd that he want to beat you on your style.
I mean, I think he's hoping, and I think he believes in himself. I believe he believes in his striking, and I think obviously the fight's going to start striking, so I think he'll test it out. But I think when he gets uncomfortable or when he feels that the advantage might be leaning towards me, I think he'll lean back to his bread and butter.
Yeah. So you expect him to shoot early in the fight or to try to box at the beginning?
I'm not expecting too much. I think he's shown in the past that he mixes it up, so I think he'll strike a bit, mix it up, shoot takedowns, expect it all.
Last one for me, predict a third round knockout. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I think a third round knockout sounds pretty spot on.
Thank you very much.
Well, right here. On one of the embedded episodes, Jack said he's going to beat you, and then it's retirement time, buddy, I think was his quote. For him to kind of, it's one thing to want to win the fight, all that, but for him to, I guess, have flashes of saying he wants to end your career, does that add anything extra for you?
No, I just think he's not really good at trash talk, so he's trying to get phrases and stuff from Craig Jones or something like that, but I'm not even close to being at the end. And if he thinks it's going to be that, it's going to be a long night for him. I think I'm going to go in there, I'm going to break him. And for him to just keep adding these little words, these little phrases, right, he's going to I'm going to save the division. I'm going to save this. I'm going to do that. I just can't wait for him to eat his words and eat these fists.
And when he says, or I know you had said before the last fight, and I think it was a little bit taken out of context, the idea of maybe if you didn't beat Leon, that would have been the end for you. Do you think that's maybe in people's heads still somewhere, thinking like, once Belal loses, he's going to move on?
No, it's not. We're not going to lose. We're going to continue winning. And like I said, I'm here to build the biggest and best legacy the world has ever seen. And I started young. I started late, right? I started at 23 years old. My body feels good. This is the strongest I ever felt, the best I ever felt. We still got 10 more years in us. So when Jack gets to, 38, then maybe I'll give him another rematch.
Good job.
Jack? Jack? Just one over here. So it's been about 10 years since the UFC has been in Montreal. I mean, what can Montreal fans, and even Canadian fans for that matter, expect Saturday night?
Yeah, I think this is the high-level match, especially my match. It's the champion versus a solid contender, and I expect a tough fight, tough 5-rounder.
Thanks.
Jack, right here. You win this fight, you'll get the big paycheck, have lots of opportunities coming your way. Do you use that money to get the nose surgery, or does that wait till the end of the career?
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Jack.
Good one.
Talked about taking the long road to get here. You've also in the past talked about, the journey is not complete until you're considered the best welterweight to ever do that. So what does that look like to you? Is it chasing GSP's records? Is it quality of competition? Like, how do you measure what's going to make you the best welterweight?
I think quality of competition, right? When you look at the guys I have on my resume, they're some of the best to ever do it. So now these young up-and-comers that have these long streaks, so I end some of these streaks. I take some of their O's. And I think it's just inevitably going to happen, where they're going to talk about it, right? Where GSP is like 10 in a row or title defenses in a row. We're chasing that. We could reach that, but I think I'll be good enough with my resume where you'll be like, he's right next to him. He's competing with him. Like, they were always talking about Kamaru and him. There's not going to be no talk after I'm done. It's just going to be me and GSP. That's it. There's going to be nobody else in the conversation.
I just kind of want to go off one of Jose's questions earlier. What specifically about Belal do you think it is that some of these guys don't take serious about him, and then they go into the fight and they think, man, maybe I should have taken him a little bit more serious, you know what I mean? Just like we saw it with Leon when he was at the media day. He said, oh, it's just Belal, isn't it? So is there anything specific about Belal? Like, is it his character? Is it the way he acts? Or is it?
I don't know. I don't necessarily think people underestimate it. I think it would be silly for anyone to underestimate anyone in this sport, but I think he's just proven that he's better than these guys, I think that's the bottom line. That's what I believe. I believe he's better than everyone he's fought, and that's why he's got the victory.
And then what's the interactions been with Ian Gary this week? Because we see him running around. He's trying to play jokes and do banter. Like, he's handed me a bag of M&Ms with an autograph on it. We saw him use his kid to hand you a bag of M&Ms, talk about the weight thing. Like, does it bother you? Does it feel like, the brother that's tagging along, that gets asked to come out with you guys, or do you not even worry about it?
Yeah, I try not to worry about it. He's doing his thing. He's staying, trying to just stay relevant, hoping, I guess he's just hoping that someone falls through so he can get his spot, which is fair enough. But, I try to avoid him. Except if it's fight time, then I won't avoid him. I will right in his face.
And just one more. I mean, there are fighters who will say that you're not the champion until you defend the title. So do you have that mindset, or do you not pay attention to that?
No, I'm the champion. I won it. I earned it. But for me, it's we're not defending the belt. We're fighting for the belt again. That's always my mindset. I'm not coming in here, as the guy that's being hunted. I'm the hunter. I want Jack's record. I want Jack's streak. I want Jack's soul.
Thank you.
Belal, right here, over here. In your career, obviously, as has been said many times today, you've taken the long road to get to the top of the mountain. Is there any particular moment that you can pinpoint?
So just one more. You said that all Belal does is talk. Does that mean you don't really consider his hands to be Canelo-esque?
No, honestly, no. I don't really see the resemblance in the Canelo hands. He does have good hands, but if you're talking skill-wise, I don't see the resemblance. But maybe I'm missing something.
He also said he's the best boxer in the welterweight division. I'm curious if you agree with that.
Yeah, good on him, good on him. Obviously he's proven he's the best at the moment, won the belt. Yeah, but I think he's good at mixing it up. But yeah, I don't know too much. His boxing's all right.